This is the third of 4 tutorials covering enterprise license agreements. In this tutorial, we will continue to discuss the awarding and managing of an ELA. Step 7 is the actual awarding of an ELA, which can be very time-consuming. It could require a comprehensive acquisition strategy, sole or limited source justification, a source selection plan, and extensive negotiations. Securing approval of limited or sole source justification can be challenging. Depending on the total estimated dollar value of the ELA, it may only require approval at the local level, by head of the contracting activity, or all the way up to your components or agency's senior procurement executive. If you have multiple resellers and have determined the best value to the government can be obtained by trading off price and non-price factors, you will need a comprehensive source selection plan detailing what factors will be evaluated and traded off. Finally, you may encounter terms and conditions unfavorable to the government, such as an unlimited and no-count license that has a true-up provision buried deep in the language. After entering an ELA, the estimated requirements may fall short of the number of licenses the organization actually requires. If the organization requires additional licenses after entering the ELA, it is often termed a true-up in the software world. It is important to have a negotiated price identified in the contract for future true-ups, so your organization will pay a discounted price and the true-up licenses will fall under the same terms and conditions of the negotiated ELA, including maintenance. Step 8, the final step, is to manage and administer the ELA and then plan for life after its expiration. Most ELAs are limited to 3 to 5 years. As the term enters its final year, you should plan a follow-on ELA or plan to revert to the previous license model. If you do not intend to renew the ELA, you should fully understand how your software licenses will be managed and maintained upon the end of the ELA term. At the very least, the ELA team should also continue to centrally manage the software licenses to ensure the users continue to enjoy some of the benefits and advantages of the expiring ELA. You should also develop a plan to migrate from the ELA that includes a zero escalation rate for maintenance on the software licenses upon immediate expiration of the ELA and low or no escalation rates for follow-on or out-year maintenance. An ELA requires a dedicated management team with representation from the government, the reseller, and the publisher. This team should ensure that disputes are resolved amicably, that proper use of the license's terms and conditions are followed, that assets maintain visibility, and that they develop a migration strategy for when the ELA ends. It will also establish the financial process for the ELA to include one payment source. DoD ESI recommends that the customer interface with the publisher during the ELA acquisition process, since they own the intellectual property for the software and therefore control the license rights that can be offered, even if being competed among resellers. The majority of software publishers utilize resellers when they sell to the government. DoD ESI recommends the customer determine if the resellers being considered are authorized by the publisher and have been vetted to offer ELA structured contracts. Though publishers utilize many resellers, there are some publishers that have limited the number of resellers that can offer ELAs. For a current list of ELAs in the DoD, please refer to the DoD ESI website and perform a search using the word Enterprise, or utilize the Ask an Expert tool. In addition, ESI has developed a white paper, licensing guide, and checklist for establishing and managing an ELA. These items are also available on the DoD ESI website. Please refer to Part 4 of this tutorial series on enterprise license agreements for more information.